Okay, let's see. If you can see it, now all the hoops are up. So basically you just, like I said, I drive the stakes down in, just pieces of conduit, 18 inches in, 18 inches up, drive them in and just slide the two people, one on each end of the PVC hoop, and bow it in and slide it down over the stakes. And then I went around with a story pole, which is just a pole, a piece of wood with a mark at it, in this case at 5/6, because I'm going to put a runner all the way down at 5/6 on both sides and one down the center. So I just went through with the story pole real quick and made marks at 5/6 on all of them so I can drill them. Now once I get them drilled, I will hold the slats up there and drill through from the other way to get the mark on the slat, and then I can measure everything out, or I'll figure something out. But once I get these drilled, I'll just measure and mark the slats for the distance apart these are supposed to be and center my holes, and then go ahead and start putting the slats up. Now this works out to being 33 feet long by the time I got it out far enough to clear the channel system around the fish tank. So my boards are 16 foot long. I'm going to have to add a foot somewhere. So 2 boards plus a foot. So I cut some shorter boards, and I'm going to cut some 3-foot sections and a 1-foot piece, and that way it'll give me overlap both ways. I can use the 3-foot to attach the two together, leaving the 1-foot gap, and fill it in. And that way I'll be able to attach to all my bows with a single thickness. But this will give me something. I'll have it at the ground all the way along, and then 5'6" down the center, and then 5'6" and on the ground at the other side, and that'll give me something to work with the plastic at. And like I said, I can take these little strips that I had and tack them down to help hold the plastic in place. But I'm going to go ahead and get some of the slats up now, which, like I said, it's just a matter of drilling, marking and drilling and sticking them up there. And I'm just using zinc caster bolts, 1/4 inch, and that should do fine for what the length of time this is going to be here, which is less than a year. So because hopefully by next spring I'll have my sailboat finished and able to move on to it, and all this is coming down then and probably going to somebody else. So the fish definitely I'll find homes for. Hopefully I can get rid of some of the equipment too. But at any rate, moving on. Okay, and here it is with slats. Now the ground's not level, but that's one of the benefits of a hoop house. It's not that critical. You notice over here I've got to step up along the deck here, the edge of my deck. So there's a step up down there and a step right here. That was a lot easier than trying to make things align, because the other side is nice and straight and fairly level. It's the side I'll use to start my plastic at and drape it this way. So I'll have excess to tack down over here, and this won't matter. So I've got all the ribs run now, and it was basically just a matter of drilling a hole through. I use the nylon bushing bolts, but these are zinc plated. They're not going to be getting all that wet because plastic's going to be over them. So there shouldn't be any more than the humidity in the greenhouse. And if you put some hand cream over them, that I can't remember the ingredient, but you put some hand cream over them, that hand cream actually helps protect them even further against rust. So that's all it is. Just run a bolt through, nut it however you want to nut it, and that's it. Just like I said, I marked these with the story pole, which is why, since they're following unlevel ground, it kind of dips, and then the other section's higher, but it's a lot more level. Along the ground, I just followed the ground. Now to frame the ends, I'm going to do the same thing. I'll just come straight across with a board along the ground, which already had some there, so I've got an area that's already leveled out. I can go ahead and cut all this stuff down before I do it, now that I don't have the little wall here in the way. And I'll just put a board across the bottom, a couple of uprights for a door on this end, and maybe a couple more boards going across to give me more attachment points for the excess from the curvature of the walls when I fold it around. Right, I got back there just one upright in the center and one cross member across. That should give me plenty to tie the plastic to. If it doesn't, I'll go back and add a couple more cross members. Then in the front here, I came down from the center I went across one direction, then I came across the other way at a height where I could frame in for a door. Right now I'm probably just going to flap the plastic and staple a piece of wood to the bottom of it, so just flap it out and the weight of the wood will hold it closed. Yeah, those are my catamarans that I bought that were destroyed. I finished destroying them so I could get the plastic out of them. Of course, these are the aluminum mast and some of the other aluminum out of them, but these two are actually still in fairly decent shape. They need some cleaning and a little bit of repair, but they still float. But I'm probably going to cut them in half so I can dispose of them. But at any rate, the framing's done. It's time to start throwing plastic on. For now, I'm just going to loop it over and I'm going to staple it with my stapler, and then I'll go back through and tack the strips to it. After I get it stapled down, I'll go back all the way around and tack strips to it to pinch the plastic between the two boards, between this strip and the runner. And that'll be better than just staples. At least the wind can't just rip it off of a staple. It'd have to pull it all the way out from under and do a lot more to it. So there's my plastic. I've got a 20 by 100. It's 25 foot around from side to side, which is why I put the one runner on the other side straight at 5 foot all the way down. So I can start there and come over to this side, start over there and bring it this way, and then I'll just cut a 5 foot run to go down the lengthways of it, and that'll give me 20 foot. I'll probably need to cut 2 of them and figure out a way to get them together, but anyway, that's the plan. So, and any extra I need to cut to close in the ends, that's what I'll do. I'll cut close in the ends. So that's what's left. Other than that, that's this is a little bigger than your average hoop house. Normally when somebody talks a hoop house, they're talking 8 to 10 foot wide and 12 foot long or so, and maybe a little bit longer depending. So this is pretty big. It's 34 foot, roughly 34 foot by a little over 13 foot. So I guess it's a decent size. So, but it'll work for what I've got going on.